the leaf. The leaf is laterally and flattened structure which is born on the stem. It develops at the node and bears the bud on its axil. So usually how the leaf will be there, right? So let's see with the green color, okay, because the leaf is the green color part, right? So if you have the stem, and so it is usually present and at this axil of the leaf we will be having the bud. We call this bud as axillary bud, right? What we call it, axillary bud. Later this axillary bud will grow as branch. Leaves originate to form shoot. Leaf originates from shoot apical meristem as well as arranged in acropetal. What is the meaning of acropetal is you will be having the older leaves in the bottom, and when you see go up you will be having the newer leaves, so the size will be decreased like this. So this is acropetal arrangement, so you can see here, and it is the most important vegetative organ for photosynthesis because it consists of chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, beta carotenoids, and it has the xanthophylls, all those things, right? So coming to the part of leaf, this we call it as the leaf base. This part is the leaf base, and this is the axil where you have the axillary bud. And the two small extensions of the leaf we call it as stipule. If the same extensions you have for flower, then you have to call it as bracts. And this is the lamina of the leaf. This blade like thing is the lamina, and the thing which will hold the leaf far away from the stem we call it as petiole. So let's discuss about a typical leaf consists of mainly three parts: leaf base, petiole and lamina. A leaf base, petiole and lamina, three things. The leaf base is attached. The leaf is attached to the stem by leaf base and may bears the two lateral small leaf-like structures called stipules. In monocotyledons, the leaf base expands into a sheet covering the stem. In monocots, if you usually see, this is the leaf base. It is expanded into a sheet-like covering the stem wholly or only. If you see banana, you can able to see. In some leguminous plants, the leaf base may be swollen, and we call that as pulvinous. So acacia is the example for that. Acacia. So the petiole, so which will help hold the blade to the light. And long, thin, flexible petioles allow leaf buds to flutter in the wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing the fresh air to the leaf surface. The lamina or the leaf blade is the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets. There is usually a mid-prominent vein which is known as midrib. So this is the midrib. Whatever you are seeing here is the midrib. So thereby veins gives the rigidity to the leaf blade. So to the lamina or leaf blade it gives the rigidity and to the leaf blade and acts as a channel for transport of water, minerals as well as food materials. Nothing but these are the bundles, vascular bundles. We have the xylem, phloem. So the shape, margin, apex, surface. So the shape of the leaf is different from leaf to leaf. The margins are different. Apex part, this is apex part, and surface, extent of incision varies in different leaves. Coming to the, so this what you are seeing is the dicot leaf, and this is monocot leaf. Dicot leaf is reticulate venation. Whatever the venation you are seeing here is reticulate venation. The venation you are seeing here is parallel venation. So coming to the next thing. So leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possess reticulate venation. So coming to the venation, the arrangement of veinlets in the lamina of the leaf is termed as venation. When the veinlets form a network, the venation is termed as reticulate. When the veins run parallel to each other within the lamina, then the venation is termed as parallel venation. So leaves with dicots have reticulate venation. Leaves with monocots have parallel venation. Is the characteristics of most of the monocots. Let's see the types of the leaves. Coming to the types of the leaf is said to be simple when its lamina is entire or when incised. The incisions do not touch the midrib. Okay, assume that if the leaf is like this, then it is simple. Or you can able to see some of the leaves are like this. This is also a simple leaf. But when you see the leaf like this, then we call that as compound leaf. When the incisions are extended till the midrib, reach up the midrib, breaking them into leaflets. You can see separate leaflets, right? We call this as compound leaf. A bud is present in the axil of the petiole. A bud is present in the axil of the petiole in both simple as well as compound leaves. Okay, but not in the axil of the leaflets of the compound leaf. The compound leaves may be of two types: pinnately compound and palmately compound. The pinnately compound, the example is neem. The palmately compound, the example is silk cotton. And the next thing, the number of leaflets are present on the common rachis. So common thing, this we call it as the rachis. Sorry, this is solitary leaf, and this we call it as rachis. Whatever you are seeing here, this is the rachis. This simple leaf only. So when the midrib of the leaf as in neem. So in palmately compound, the leaflets are attached to the common point, to the tip of the petiole. So this is the tip of the petiole, it is attached. So example, silk cotton. Next, phyllotaxy. What is phyllotaxy? Coming to the phyllotaxy, it is a pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. It is usually two types. We have alternate phyllotaxy, opposite phyllotaxy, and we have broad phyllotaxy. I'll tell you some easy mnemonic for that. China people will make an alternate for everything. So China rose. And the opposite fruit of a apple is guava. So you can remember like that. And broad phyllotaxy. Remember, broad. So wheel. W for wheel. So wheel is usually made up of aluminum. Alstonia. So phyllotaxy. The arrangement of leaves on the stem, we call it as phyllotaxy. These are three types of arrangement: alternate, opposite, as well as broad. Coming to alternate type of phyllotaxy, the single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner. So as in China rose, mustard, and sunflower. So just remember, like the sunflowers, mustard are made alternatives by China. So in opposite types, the pair of leaf arise at each node and lies in an opposite to each other, as in Calotropis and Goa. So Calotropis and Goa, you can remember this mnemonic also. Sunflower, mustard, and so China rose, which is opposite phyllotaxy. Calotropis and Goa is opposite phyllotaxy. And broad phyllotaxy, which is Alstonia. Remember the wheel, which is made up of aluminum. And let's see about the inflorescence. What is this inflorescence? The arrangement of flowers on the stem, we call it as inflorescence. It's very simple. The flower, which is none other than the modified shoot. Whereas in shoot, the apical meristem changes into a floral meristem. Internodes do not elongate, and the axis gets condensed. So the axis will get condensed, internodes will not elongate. The apex produces different kinds of floral appendages laterally to the successive nodes instead of leaves. When a root tip transforms into flower, it is always solitary. Only one flower will be there. When the arrangement of flowers on floral axis is termed as inflorescence. The arrangement of leaves on the stem, we call it as phyllotaxy, depending on whether the apex get developed into flower or continues to grow. There are two major types of inflorescence that is defined: racemose and cymose. So what is racemose? Remember, racemose is you will be having the older flowers in the bottom. So actually the tip is not converted into flower. So this is racemose. You have older flowers in the bottom and new flowers are arranging on the top. This we call it as racemose, and the apical part of the stem is not converted into flower. Cymose, and coming to the racemose, this is acropetal arrangement, means towards the peak. And coming to the cymose, so first initially the axillary part, the apical part is transformed as flower, and here we have the older flowers. You will be having the reverse part, means so you'll be having the reverse part, which is basipetal arrangement. So this basipetal arrangement is seen in cymose. So coming to see in this NCRT, in racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continues as to grow. The flowers are borne laterally in an acropetal succession. In cymose, the type of inflorescence, the main axis will terminate into flower. Hence is limited in growth. The flowers are borne on basipetal order. Okay. So let's talk about racemose and cymose in detail. Coming to the racemose, this is solitary. This is simple raceme. And if there is no pedicles and the flowers are directly arranged, then we call it as spike. If all the flowers are arranged in the same height, irrespective of old or new, this we call it as cauliflower. So if from the peak we have all these things, then we call it as umbel. And if the head is modified as this and all the flowers are seen, then we call it as capitulum.